How's everybody doing?
Hey, Coach. Thanks for joining us today. Again, for the group, if you have a question for Coach, please use the raise hand function and we will get to you. All right, first question comes from Greg Barnes. So go ahead, Greg.
Hey, Jay. Hope you're doing well today. Just kind of wanted to get your thoughts on the Virginia game and some of the issues that your defense had.
Yeah, I think we played very well. I think we didn't handle some of the shifts and motions, and it kind of got us, it kind of got us into kind of a vanilla defense a lot. And I think when they kind of got us where they knew where we were going to be, they teed off on us and blocked us really good. And I thought once we kind of settled down and got back to pressure, and I thought we were better. But I think that kind of was schematically what happened. And I think we didn't play I thought our tackling wasn't very good. And they finished runs on us, and I think that was, they were 4 for 4 on fourth down. They got themselves in manageable third downs, which we said going into the game we couldn't happen because of all the quarterback run. So I think that they finished runs because we didn't tackle great and got themselves in advantageous third and fourth downs. We knew they were going to go for it on fourth down. That's who they are, and didn't handle it very well.
Was there a lot of missed assignments, or is it really just kind of losing at the point of attack?
I don't think it was a lot of missed assignments as much as it was. I kind of felt like early in the game I had to settle them down, and that got us into, some pretty. There wasn't anything schematically wrong with it. They kind of knew where we were going to be, and then I thought they blocked us.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go to Ross Martin.
Just kind of build off that, Jay. With the run defense, what needs to change? What needs to happen? What can you do to improve the run defense moving forward into the season?
Yeah, I think, Ross, it's been really inconsistent. I think that we've had 3 games where we've been really good and 3 games we've been really poor. And I think the 3 games we've been poor, I think when you go back and you watch them, right, you see us, fundamentally being poor. And I think that's on us. That's on me as the defensive coordinator. When we take pretty good angles, when we leverage the football, when we defeat blocks, we're pretty good. And when we don't, then you're not as good. And I wish I had a better answer for you, but ultimately that's what it is. It's guys doing their 111th and defending their gaps. And then I think, we've got some young kids that when things aren't going bad, try to do too much. And I think they've got to settle down and do their job. And I think when we do that, we'll be better.
And to follow up, did you think the defensive line got tired in the third and fourth quarters? And if so, where are you in getting some of the younger players? I know you've been trying to get these younger players in more and more. Where are you in kind of getting them ready to where they can play, significant, 15, 20, 25 snaps every game to relieve, Fox and Ray and those guys? Yeah.
I didn't think we got tired per se, but I do think we should have played those young guys more. So, I think every week's a little bit different. Every week's a little bit more, how much we're doing, how much they're doing, some of that stuff. So I think that factors into a piece of it too, but I do think we need to play those young kids more.
Hey, Coach. I know you're not a big excuse guy, but more so just trying to find a reason here because he's now the guy that offenses are keying on without Strobridge and Crawford. He's playing, 70-plus snaps a game, and there's sometimes where it looks like he's trying to do too much. But how would you kind of explain Chaz Surratt's struggles this year, seeing how he was a preseason All-American?
Yeah, I don't really think he struggled. He's been ACC linebacker of the week twice. I think people are blocking him. I think the people are making sure that he can't just go out and win the game. And when they don't, I think he makes a lot of plays. Sometimes we think Chaz gets dressed in a phone booth and puts a cape on. Chaz has played well. So I don't see it that way, my man.
Okay, let's move back over to Andrew Jones. Go ahead, Andrew.
Hey, Coach, Mac mentioned the other night some of the problems that you guys have had with sudden change defense. So you saw it at BC after the interception. They scored a couple plays later. The block punt, FSU scores 1 play later, and then the other night. How do you coach sudden change defense differently than something else, and what kind of explanation do you have for those struggles?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think that's been one of our biggest issues. I don't think we've done a great job. I thought against Syracuse we did a really good job, and I think since then when you get put in that situation, you have to go out and rely on your training and your fundamentals and do it exactly right. And I think we've pressed too much. After the drop punt on Saturday, we got a play that I would have bet $100 we were going to defend perfect, and we were too aggressive on the routes. And so I think that's we've got to just go do our job and rely on our fundamentals around and do our 111th. And I think we're pressing too much. And I think that's something we've talked about. We talked about a lot on Sunday. We talked about it this morning at practice. So I think we've got to just settle down and do our job better when we get in those situations. And I think some of that comes with being a veteran kid. Some of our young kids are pressing a little bit. And I think I got to get that done. I got to get them to understand that all they need to do is their job and they'll be fine.
When you say pressing, I'm guessing that's also sort of a confidence thing. So you need to go out there and get a few of those stops, and maybe that might change the tide, or is it something else?
Yeah, I don't think it's confidence. I think it's more, okay, I got to go make a play. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to get a stop. I'm going to go, get a TFL. And all of a sudden now your eyes aren't in the right spot, or you're not defending your gap, or you're not on the right man. And then breakdowns happen. And I think that's what's happened. And I think, we've got good enough players. They need to just go out and do their job. And like we tell them all the time, the ball will find you if you do your job. And I think that's been more of our issue, Andrew, at that time, to be honest with you.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's move over to Gregory Hall.
Jay, I was curious what you saw with that Trey Morrison unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. What happened with that?
I think it's the classic in the game of football when when you retaliate, you usually get flagged. Trey knows it wasn't very smart.
And then how do you handle in-game penalties with your players? How do you address them?
We talk about it when they get to the sideline. If Mac and I talk about it. If Mac wants them out, we bring them out. I think sometimes I bring them out, sometimes I don't, depending on who they are and what happened. Some kids, as they get older, historically have proven to me that they can handle themselves. Right? They get it on the sideline after the possession. I did take Trey out, a player out later, so I could talk to him. But got to keep your wits about you.
And moving forward, whether it's in practice or in meetings, how can those penalties decrease?
Yeah, I just think you got to manage your emotions better.
All right.
Let's go back over to JB Ricks.
Hey, Coach, thanks so much for taking out the time. I wanted to ask you how you feel about the preparation of your defense going into the Virginia game and going into the Florida State game too, because there's a lot of hearsay about, Carolina struggling with these night games. And, I'd like to hear your opinion on whether or not that really even matters, whether the game is during the day or, whether it's during the night. The preparation for your defense, where was it at? And where was the level of execution where was the lack of execution that was not there in the Virginia?
Our kids work extremely hard. They prepare really, really hard. They spend a lot of time on it. I don't think the time of the game, I don't think that matters. I think I have to do a better job as the D coordinator, preparing a game plan to give them a better chance to be successful. And then when we get out there, we've got to execute. And I think whether we play the opponent at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., I think it's, I think part of it's the opponent. I think Florida State blocked us really well. I think Virginia blocked us really well. I don't think that had anything to do with the time of day. I think it's us getting off blocks and us fitting runs better. And I think that's what matters. So I think our kids work extremely hard.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
All right, Coach Bateman, that's all the time we got for you today. We appreciate it.